Hello and welcome to Shiaght Laa. I'm Bob Carswell, sé Robert a Carslach Mish, as Bavalian must halta agus Shiaght Laa. On Shiaght Laa and Shiaght and Shaw, in this week's programme, Tashinchi the word earlier, we celebrate with Shennaghys Jiu, Tradition Today, a festival celebrating music, dance, song, language and culture of the Celtic countries. Knox, Die is Eirlid. Knox, Order and Beauty. The opening of an exhibition and other events celebrating the life and work of Archibald Knox and the Isle of Man which inspired him. As Rai Blina Vannanen and the island's highest cultural award, Mannanan's Choice of the Year, which was recently awarded to Annie Kissack, and the Manx branch of the Celtic Congress celebrates her poetry and the well-deserved award. This evening, Thursday the 3rd of April at 7:30, Russian Silver Band will be performing in St Catherine's Church in Port Erin. There's no admission charge, there'll be a retiring collection, and there'll be a chance to enjoy refreshments after the concert as well. This coming Monday evening, the 7th of April at 7:15, the Summer Singers Community Choir will be holding their first rehearsal in St Paul's Church Hall in Ramsey. The choir's open to anyone and everyone, all ages welcome. They sing a variety of genre, from pop to choral, in an eclectic choice, whatever's fun and fulfilling. They meet every Monday during the summer till the middle of September, and it leads up to their annual concert. Previous experience or the ability to read music, although it might be useful, is definitely not necessary. Members pay a subscription of £2 per week to help with overheads. So all are very welcome to go along and join the Summer Singers Community Choir, starting this coming Monday the 7th of April at 7:15 in St Paul's Church Hall in Ramsey. For Shennaghys Jiu curator sy flein naichi jeg, Caerfeed as Hach jeg, Irish Juan Garrett, Andrew Hannon as Rachel Presley. Ag y tre sien va podden de chiolad yr nega a Shir Aberdeen ons Nolban claddion yn aw in Spey, Shira chit gus yn chruniach va gul cwmwl sa taura. Ach son ciwst oren gedod de podden chit ag yn tre sien, ach ve gedebel de chit mus je geis. Herawen goed smooth alten en bingen chruniach, gennachten de be gedebel de rege tagertelje ag geis, gamme sjachten en chruniach sa taura. Ach, ren Juan as Andrew as Rachel, fagen care de Erdelia Jane acht for Shaw podden de chiolder nega, as der erinsi verginsige chiol traditionach ons fokkebers, Donald Barr as James Alexander. As fagen der oud Juan, ne erinsi ons from za, red for chwish over yindersache region, ons chiol vanning merish perch in ega, Mike Bolton, RBV. Ren Juan as Andrew as Rachel, rege tager der lie mus je geis, de chorquirre de baileder en fochebus, as for quirrigen kjol Joru as Jorish kjoleder en ega en Elian, as Henk Shen de vey Shennaghys Jiu. This evening there's the official opening of Shennaghys Jiu, which celebrates traditional culture, particularly promoting the handing on of traditional forms to younger generations. The official opening is by invitation in Ramsey Town Hall, but of course events over this coming weekend will be very much public celebrations. As the chair of the organising committee and founder member, Juan Garrett, points out, there's also a lot going on tomorrow which the public won't see, but which has always been an important part of Shennaghys Jiu.
We've started with our school performances and visiting groups and a few locals performing around our northern schools and the Bun School, taking some of our roadshow music and dance to as many children as we can possibly reach in the first day of the festival itself on Friday the 4th.
And then Friday the 4th in the evening, you're opening it up to the public.
We have a children's concert and a ceilidh that night, so we like to showcase our young talent, and we're really fortunate this year that we're going to have Shennaghys from the local primary school, Bun School Rumsair, performing alongside some of our visiting musicians, but also alongside Shennaghys Jiu. So it's a real mix of young people and a wealth of experience in all the leaders and teachers and the elder members of groups and our visiting groups. So it's a whole mix mash of a concert and ceilidh where everybody can get up and try some of the new dances out and some traditional old dances too.
On the Friday the 4th then, at 6:15, the family concert at the Masonic Hall in Ramsey. You mentioned Shennaghys Jiu and Shennaghys and Scran are taking part in that as well, but you have some visitors, some interesting visitors, very interesting visitors.
We do. We got really fortunate this year that some of our links that we've made through our musicians on the Isle of Man and Elizabeth and Daniel put us in touch with Jerry O'Connor, who is a fiddle player, a fifth generation fiddle player, and he's coming to the island. He's famous for supporting groups like Planksty and Boys of Loch, to name but a few. So we're really fortunate, and we're looking forward to Jerry being here for the full weekend. And we've got Loic Hertort, who is here coming from Brittany. For those that have been to Lorient over the past few years, he's been the delegate that's been there looking after the Manx contingent, and he is a traditional Breton singer but does some Fesnol stuff too, so we're lucky to have him alongside to make that an interesting ceilidh and diverse ceilidh. And then through connections we have with Mary Malloy and the Irish sessions, there's a group of ladies who are over the Isle of Man celebrating some birthdays, and the McKinney sisters are here, and they're going to perform a 15-minute spot and do some of the songs that they're used to singing, famous for singing around their touring gig. So yeah, it's a whole diverse night with Manx, Irish and Breton thrown in for the mix.
Moving on to the Saturday, then Saturday the 5th, there's a very full day.
A complete day, and we're all over the town. We're taking over Ramsey from start to finish. So we've got outdoor displays at the courthouse starting around 10 o'clock. But we've also got our artisan fair at the Masonic Hall, where there'll be lots of different local crafts, traders selling their homemade wares, alongside Julie Matthews, who will be catering for visitors and locals alike with her brilliantly homemade Manx food. So then there's a whole day happening there, and then we're in the Mitre for lunchtime. Brief sessions happening in the Mitre. We're at the Fin Bar in the afternoon, and the Central at tea time, and then we'll be back at the Masonic for the night. So it's a full day with all our visiting groups and lots of local acts and local performers performing around the town throughout the day.
Saturday evening then, you have two events. There's music in the pub from 5 o'clock at the Central, and that's an interesting lineup. And then we move on at 7:30 to the concert and family ceilidh in the Masonic Hall against. The
Central, we're really fortunate that lots of our local publicans are really interested and support us throughout the year. So we're at the Central, and Cakeza, our Cornish visiting music and dance group, will be performing along there alongside Becky Hurst, and some Manx contingents will be in the Central from 5 o'clock. And then at night time, the local group Nefani will be performing alongside our visiting groups for the night. And then our harpers, Naclash and Tui, who are a subgroup from Nefani, but really they've been started learning harp with Mike Bolton at Bunchcall Rumsair, and then subsequently with Rachel Hare, and they've really flown on their own, so they've become a group in their own right. So they're taking part in the concert, and we're looking forward to them playing. And many of them will have played on the Friday night for the Archibald Knox opening as well at the Manx Museum. So they've got a busy week. And then obviously the ceilidh night will be featuring our Irish friends from Killarney, Cakeza from Cornwall and Nefani. It's a whole Manx and Celtic night of music and dance. And so that will start about 7:30 from the concert all the way through to around midnight for the ceilidh. So it's a full day and a full night of music, dance and fun, really.
And on the Sunday, you've got another full day, in fact, taking it out of Ramsey as well.
Shennaghys Jiu has been to Peel from the very first festival that we had, and we've continued with that tradition. And we're really delighted to return to the Peel Centenary Centre on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock for our Celtic showcase. We're delighted that's been continued to be supported by Corlets there in the west of the island, and that's where we can really see the showcase and talent on display and the brilliant venue of Centenary Centre. So we'll have Jerry O'Connor playing, and we'll have musicians from Killarney School of Music supported by the Hegarty School of Dance, and then in particular a local group, T-Val, under Katie Lawrence, and who were put together last year for Crignat to really showcase Katie's tunes and her tune book, but they went down a storm, and we're delighted that they've agreed to play for us again this year. So well done to Katie and that team of musicians. They are an absolute credit to the Isle of Man, and we're delighted for them to be there.
What about tickets for that one?
Tickets for that can be bought through the Centenary Centre website or through Eventbrite, which there'll be connections on all our Facebook and social media pages, or hopefully you can turn up on the door. But last year we got a bit tight for space at the end, but we did manage to fit everybody in. So yeah, tickets on the door or throughout the festival weekend itself, and that's priced at £15.
And then later on, you close at the Masonic Hall with a Caelian concert again.
A short concert. It's really to showcase everybody that really would like to perform, and it's to get all our local acts in over what is really a 4-day event. There's so many local acts that we'd really like to get in. So Mark Lawrence will be starting the concert, and then we'll be rushing through as many Ceilidhs and concert spots as we can from all our visiting guests and local performers. So there'll be a Cornish Ceilidh and an Irish Ceilidh and a Breton Fez Noz and a little bit of Scottish dancing in the way, and then it'll all finish off with the Manx Ceilidh, and that's really our old school. And for those that are willing and able and feel like they want to celebrate the end of the festival, it's a little bit of a fancy dress night with a bit of a party night, and that's it. The fancy dress will be at sea this year, so the young ones love it, and so we're delighted that they take the lead on that. And once again, we'd like to thank all our main sponsors, and in particular Culture Van and Corlets, Ireland Aggregates, and once again this year Finbar, and in particular Hansard, who have really come to the fore over the last few years, the whole team together. We really are delighted that they continue to support us and sponsor us throughout the year. Among many, many others, local businesses and firms, they are all equally important, but without their help and continued support, the festival couldn't take place. So a huge thank you from all of us involved with the festival for their continued support.
Thank you very much. Chair of the organising committee of Shennaghys Jiu, Juan Garrett. You can find the full programme online at shennaghisjiu.com. Shennaghys Jiu is all the one word, and I'll spell it for you a couple of times. SHENNAGHYSJIU. Shennaghisjiu.com. SHENNAGHYSJIU. Shennaghysjiu.com, and you can go along and enjoy events in Ramsey on Friday evening the 4th of April, with a full programme of events in the town throughout Saturday the 5th, and on Sunday the 6th there'll be that concert at 3 o'clock in the Peel Centenary Centre before the final event that evening in the Ramsey Masonic Hall. For William Knox, na Ter Cor ons Kilburnie, sa tui je Shir ons Nolben. As on Shen henke de ve pusht, se vlein hachi jeg, 3 jeggers died, rish an, as ish as an alien lismore. Henk sure William gus Manning se vlein hachi jeg, she jeggers died, tre renny pusa ye ster en misit Collister. As fuddy de den jish den vreek, de rau over my regedden san alien. Nos of Lane Heathen Shen, Hochi Jeg, She Jeggers died, Henk Gilliam was an as an Hid Vakok, Robert Gasalian Banning. As Ren William gol tired der Gavrachid and Lochtai Moor, ons Muljan Tremode, Virginu Shoils on Baden. Verkeer Mac Elia rugged der William was an, Gouds wat Berge ons Kronkbon, as van Huego Vakok, en Mesich Archibald. Ren William Knox Vergale Kronkbon, de Chorerbon, Koloch Jesuchteris Chowa Furt ons Doelish. As Joris en Treyer en Archibald Knox gol toyach der Golde Skol, ve gol gus Bunskol New Barnabas ons Main of Alia. The artwork of Archibald Knox, born in Cronkbourne village in Tremode in 1864, is the subject of international recognition, and there's going to be a year-long celebration of his achievements, starting with the opening of a major exhibition in the Manx Museum in Douglas, a collaboration between Eire Gesúnach Banning, Manx National Heritage, and the Archibald Knox Forum, with associated events during this weekend and throughout the coming year, as we hear from curator of the exhibition for Eire Gesúnach Banning, Katie King, and Chris Hobdell, who, with his wife Mary, set up the Archibald Knox Forum as a charity in 2017.
Knox, Order and Beauty is our major new exhibition that's opening at the Manx Museum to the public on Saturday the 5th of April. And to mark the launch or the opening of the exhibition, we're also putting on a special seminar day at the Manx Museum. So the seminar, we've got speakers coming over from America and from the UK. We've got Dr. Stephen Martin, who's flying in from America to deliver a series of talks during Saturday the 5th. We've got Anthony Birnbaum, again, a world-leading Knox expert who's coming to the island, and Paul Carter-Robinson, who's a leading expert on Liberty pewterware and Knox's work with Liberty. As they were all coming over for the exhibition opening, they very kindly agreed to deliver the seminar day as well. And it's been fantastically funded by the Isle of Man Arts Council, so we're really grateful to them for their help. The day itself is on Saturday the 5th of April. The talks start at 11 o'clock and they go right through till about 6:30, but there's breaks in between and you can dip in and out. So the schedule of the day is on our website and you can see which lectures that you might be interested in. Of course, you're welcome to stay all day. So you can dip in and out. So if the one you fancy is at 12:30, you can come to that one. What you need to do is buy a day ticket, and with your day ticket, you can come and go as you please. So that will also give you an opportunity in between the lectures if you want to come and see the exhibition as well. And then, because they're all still on the island, they are repeating the day too. So on Saturday the 5th of April, they're doing a series of lectures and then they're repeating them live on Sunday the 6th of April as well. So you've got 2 chances to attend, but you need a day ticket for the Saturday or a day ticket for the Sunday. So we're really excited. We're really grateful to everybody that's helped on this project. Knox, Order and Beauty has been a collaborative exhibition between the Archibald Knox Forum and Manx National Heritage. The Archibald Knox Forum approached us many years ago with this idea of putting on the Isle of Man, the world's largest exhibition celebrating Archibald Knox. And it's the largest exhibition in terms of the gallery size that the world's ever seen dedicated just to Knox, but it's also got the most artefacts created or designed by Knox all together in one place. The Archibald Knox Forum have been championing this for about 8 years. We've been working with them quite hard on this for 3 years. So we're all so excited and we're so grateful. We've had so many people support us with this project. The Knox Forum have been sourcing loans from all over the place, from private owners, private dealers and museums as well. So this will be the first time all these very rare and unique metalware pieces anyway will have been on the Isle of Man altogether. We've been working really hard with the Archibald Knox Forum to try and think about what the big message we want people to leave the exhibition thinking, or to leave the Isle of Man thinking. We know that a lot of people are coming to the Isle of Man from all over the world actually to see this exhibition. We've got people flying in for the seminar actually from Barcelona, from Amsterdam, from America. So we know there's a lot of worldwide interest in Knox, but a lot of people, even if you collect Knox and you admire Knox's metalware designs, for example, not everybody appreciates the fact that everything was drawn from his love of the Isle of Man and his passion for the Isle of Man. So that's what the exhibition is trying to do. It's trying to explain that you cannot admire Archibald Knox without setting foot on the Isle of Man. You have to appreciate the environment he grew up in, his fascination with our ancient landscape, with the Manx crosses, his upbringing in this time when the Isle of Man was finding itself in a heritage and cultural way. He grew up in that formative time when these tenacious band of patriots were fighting for Manx heritage. He grew up in that. So everything that came from Knox is intrinsically connected to the Isle of Man. His soul was here. And yes, he was most well known as being a designer for Liberty, of course, but that was quite a relatively small period of his life. He was primarily an art teacher, an art master, and a graphic designer, an illustrator, and a painter. So the exhibition, yes, it has lots of beautiful jewellery and silver and pewter, but it's also got a lot of his paintings, it's got a lot of his special Manx commissions, and it's trying to tell his complete story as best as we can. I mean, obviously, he wasn't particularly recorded or documented in his own lifetime because his work for Liberty wasn't acknowledged at the time, which was commonplace. So we've tried with lots of people's help to piece this story together. And it's a really comprehensive exhibition, so you'll get to see all the different styles of his work. We've managed to gather together lots of pieces that he designed in the Sunnyside Workshops, which was an arts and craft studio that he helped set up on the Isle of Man at the turn of the century. So there's lots and lots to see. It's a visual feast, I hope. We're trying to tell the story as simply as we can. There's so many people that I need to thank. We've been very grateful to, in no particular order, the Isle of Man Steam Packet Company, who have assisted us with the loans coming to the island, the Silver Society and the Decorative Art Society of the UK, who have funded the fit-out of our cases, the Isle of Man Arts Council, who have funded not only the seminar day, but also a lot of our interpretation materials, the Elizabeth Lucas Trust, the same, for helping with the loans, the Isle of Man Post Office, who've produced a beautiful stamp set that you can buy, Culture Vannin, who've helped with catalogues and various other pieces, Clove Tech Limited, who've helped fund some of the cases, and private sponsors as well. So we're so grateful to everybody, and we want the Manx public and we want lots of visitors around the world to come and see this show and hopefully feel really proud and feel also inspired by the Isle of Man. This island continues to produce beautiful works of art from beautiful creative people. And that's what Knox was doing. So we want you to, this is as much a celebration of the Isle of Man as it is anything else, really. And I'm going to introduce Chris Hobdell to you from the Archibald Knox Forum, who's been the champion of this project. And he is also championing something else this year that's obviously connected, Isle of Knox. The exhibition at the heart of it, but it's also about placing permanently a connection in people's minds between Archibald Knox and the Isle of Man. So that when you think of Archibald Knox, you immediately think of the Isle of Man. That's what we want the world to think. So there's a series of talks and events happening throughout the year, which Chris can talk to you a little bit about, because he's been doing all the work getting that together.
Chris Hobdell, the title of the exhibition is Knox Order and Beauty. What's the background to that element of the...
The background to that is he, with many of his students, he would tell them, aim for order, hope for beauty. And he knew that order was the crux of the matter to begin with, because lots of people think that Archibald Knox does entrelacs and beautiful Celtic things just automatically. And it's not automatic. He had to work it out almost like an engineer to work out how all these things would thread through. So that's why we're calling it Order and Beauty.
And in association with it, obviously the seminar and the exhibition are here at the Manx Museum. But as Katie said, there's going to be events spread round the island.
There's going to be 3 tours that are taking place each month. They are to outside places. So there's the Douglas Central tour by the Blue Badge Guides on the Isle of Man. There's one for going round Bradden New Cemetery, which has 12 associated Knox graves, and the Douglas Borough Cemetery, which has 8 of his graves, and some of them are out of this world. One is John Miller Nicholson, which we've just had refurbished last year and regilded. And to quote his great-grandson, he said it looks better now than when it was first done. The other thing is that we've got 11 walks that have been specially developed called Walking in the Footsteps of Archibald Knox. And people can go out in the countryside, they can see where he lived, they can see where he painted, see where he sketched. And the guide on that one, Katrina Livingstone, will actually take you to the places where you can stand where Knox stood, out in the country where he walked, and just give you an idea of the beauty of the scenery and what really inspired him in his work. Well, the way you get it on is to go to Manx National Heritage What's On, and in that What's On there are lots of different parts of it, and you can go in and it will tell you exactly what the walk's about, when it takes place, how to book it, how much it is, and what you can expect when you go out on the walk.
So I'm doing guided tours of the exhibition pretty much fortnightly on a Friday morning. Book tickets for that on our website. And we're also, if you have a group or a charity or an organisation that wants to come along for a private tour, we are taking bookings for private tours as well. Ticket £12 per person. And we can do that for your group for the time that suits you, basically.
Katie King, Chris Hobdell, Gurmai Moyo, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Katie King of Erech a Shiaght Laa and Chris Hobdell of the Archibald Knox Forum. You can find out more and do any necessary bookings at the website manxnationalheritage.im. Manx National Heritage is all one word, manxnationalheritage.im. And for the Archibald Knox Forum, it's archibaldknoxforum.com. Archibald Knox Forum, all one word, archibaldknoxforum.com. As Katie mentioned, the seminar day on Saturday the 5th will be repeated on Sunday the 6th. And as Chris said, there'll be that series of tour events and walking in the footsteps of Knox throughout the year, as well as Katie's guided tours of the exhibition in the Manx Museum in Douglas, and all that starting this Saturday morning the 5th of April, which is in fact just 4 days before Archibald Knox's birthday, as he was born on the 9th of April 1864. Van rai bliana vannin and curator bun mor ounder culturoil smoes gan choil ellen vanning, se vlein naichi jeg keerfie de Shiaght. Nier a shent an ounder wei courage maach dach blain. A chanel shendagrede wel inrichen Shiaght peach jeg as feed ten edden an ounder. No wei courage se vlein feed chied as she, gus a wonskal gilgach. Se vlein feed chied as jeg, gus shejach downs tier ellen vanning. As se vlein feed chied as shejeg, gus derfeich, Bernard Kane as John Kenyach, as a thrive at the nistjou and edden best se vlein roshen. As se vlein feed chied as Shiacht van ounder currit gus kleider and skille wel. Shen de grey for ieder awi currit, de queg fererlie jeg gus feed, as gus 3 shejachten je sorgenjach. The award of the Rai Blina Vannin this year was a little delayed. However, it was made on the 15th of March when Chris Thomas, MHK, the chair of Culture Vannin, made the award to Annie Kissack for her lifelong involvement in a wide range of cultural activities. And at 2:30 this Saturday afternoon, the 5th of April, there's an opportunity to enjoy just one of the areas of creativity of Annie Kissack RBV, because all are very welcome indeed to come along to the Guild Room adjoining Peel Methodist Church in Athol Street, Peel, where Annie will be telling us something about the background to her poetry, the sort of things that inspire her, and we can enjoy a selection of her work, from the amusing to the observational to the very moving, and all stations in between. Coming so soon after the award of the RBV to Annie, it's an opportunity to celebrate recognition of her as being very much at the forefront of the island's creative community. All, as I say, are very welcome indeed. The event is organised by the Manx branch of the Celtic Congress. A donation of £3 on the door would be gratefully received to help with overheads. Afterwards, there'll be the chance for a couche over refreshments. So that's 2:30 this Saturday afternoon, the 5th of April, in the Guild Room adjoining Peel Methodist Church in Athol Street, Peel. As Shennaghys vain chiderus train no shaw, Shiaght Laa. That's it from Shiaght Laa for now. So from myself, Bob Carswell, Wampin, Robert a Karslach, Sledniat.